Hello. Do you ever have that niggling thought? Is this it? This home? This partner? This job? Shouldn't it feel better? It's a sentiment the Rolling Stones once set to a famously driving beat, a restless anthem of dissatisfaction. And the song's enduring popularity tells us something, that disillusionment, even futility, is not a rare visitor in the human mind. I feel satisfied after a good meal, but of course the feeling of satiation soon goes away and I get hungry again. And this is true for various things I do. So why is satisfaction so elusive? Why, even when we get what we want, does it slip away? One answer is simple. We expect pleasure to be enough. The delicious meal, the exciting sports game, the party that spills over into the small hours, all of it can feel satisfying in the moment. But moments fade, and if our lives revolve only around the next burst of enjoyment, then we neglect deeper currents, purpose, relationships, the quiet work that brings meaning. Or perhaps we tell ourselves that satisfaction will come when we have the next thing, the sofa, the job, the holiday, the car. But as soon as it arrives, another thing, another desire appears on the horizon. Some people live in a permanent state of being almost there, but never arriving. There's a story from India that you may know about how to catch a monkey. You place a banana inside a heavy box, just big enough for the monkey to slip its hand in. It grabs the fruit, but then can't pull its fist back out because the fruit is still in the fist and it won't let go. Freedom is one small choice away, but it won't let go. We can be like that too, clinging to what we think will make us happy, even as it costs us our peace. Then there's our brain's bias towards the negative. We remember the criticism, not the compliment. We compare our lives to the neighbours, their holidays, their cars, their clever children, and shrink in the shadow of our imagined inadequacy. The great spiritual traditions agree. If we make the superficial things of life our sole focus, we end up missing the deeper human values that truly sustain us. Now, sometimes it's ambition that robs us. Do you remember former England rugby player Brian Moore? He once admitted that his relentless drive for success drained the joy from his victories. The more we make our worth depend on achievement, the less content we feel when we get there. We often act as though happiness comes from indulging every desire straight away. But contentment and satisfaction sometimes lives on the other side of restraint, of delaying gratification, of working towards something over time. So, if our aim is to repay a debt, then we may never get to this satisfying goal if we spend money when we feel like it. And sometimes what's most valuable is hiding in plain sight. A quiet moment, a simple kindness. But we're too busy looking to indulge what we fancy in order to notice such things. Now, another barrier to satisfaction is an illusion. This is the idea that we are entirely separate as a self-contained individual, each of us. Each of us think, I am myself. This is my body. This is my mind. So we each seem to have a separate consciousness and separate life of our own. We live as if we were each an island unto ourselves and not connected to any bigger spiritual force. However, many traditions suggest otherwise, that we draw from a deeper source. Yes, the names differ, the higher self, the Buddha nature, the pure consciousness, God, but the idea is similar. Contentment flows when we are connected to something larger than ourselves. How then could a sense of our independent self-awareness reduce satisfaction? After all, my sense of self is crucial. It gives me a sense of individuality and an important feeling of freedom and responsibility for what I personally choose. We feel full of life. We have the experience of feeling and thought. So it comes as a bit of a shock to hear we are actually not what we think we are, that our feelings and thoughts originate from outside of ourselves, that a perception of oneself as a separate and independent being is a mistake. Instead, along with the world's spiritual traditions, I would suggest that we have a creative origin and spiritual source that is from beyond ourselves. Emanuel Swedenborg, the 18th century mystic, put it starkly. We have no life of our own, only the life that flows into us from the divine. So, rely on yourself alone and you'll chase but never reach happiness. Instead, open yourself to the divine origin of love and wisdom, and satisfaction becomes less dependent on circumstances. In Swedenborg's vision of love and wisdom, even heaven's happiness is not idleness, is not laziness, is not indulgence, but it is service, doing useful things for other people, doing good for its own sake, then is the reward. Well, the Stoics might have agreed, as might the Buddha and the early Christians who found joy in meaning amid even suffering. So contentment in this view isn't the prize at the end of the race. It's the byproduct of living in alignment with what we might call virtue, the truth, and love. It often arrives quietly after inner conflict has been resolved. I might add that Swedenborg also taught that those who trust in the divine remain in equanimity, whether they obtain their desires or not. And they do not grieve over the loss of them, for they are content with their lot. If they become wealthy, they do not set their hearts on money. If they are given social status, they do not regard themselves as more worthy than others. Are these not the routes away from discontent and towards satisfaction and peace of mind? Perhaps then the path away from dissatisfaction and unhappiness is not in clutching harder at life's bananas, nor in waiting for the next sofa, the next job or holiday to deliver us. It may lie instead in loosening the grip, opening the hand, and finding that what we were searching for has been flowing through us all along. In this video, I have been addressing the question, why can't I stay happy? If you have been interested in what I'm saying, why not click the link to nature and spirit as natural antidepressants. Thanks for watching.